fault. That's prejudice. That's prejudice and bias.
Now you got to fight for equality, buddy. Women couldn't vote or work.
Really?
Up until years ago.
In 2000,
Men couldn't work their own property.
in 2013. This is
They had to be
2000.
either landowners or have served in the military. That's until about 1920.
All right, guys,
We're not talking about the past, we're talking about
this
today.
bungle. Keep working on it, though.
Check your facts. You don't know what you're talking about, bud.
Check your facts with voting candidates.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Actually, sir, it appears you don't. The Department of Justice in the U.S. No, the Department of Justice in the U.S.
Just us?
commissioned a report and found that
Yeah, thanks, It's being harangued by some weird fucking faulty logic. Really weird
Faulty logic.
I don't really hear
It's
I
facts.
don't want to hear your facts.
No, my facts, which our rotund friend didn't want to see, had no interest in viewing, were in fact from the Bureau of Statistics via the Department of Justice in the U.S., where they did a study that found that 95% of juvenile inmates in juvenile correctional facilities that were victims of sexual misconduct by staff had in fact been victimized by female staff. That flies contrary to what we are led to believe is the norm. You find, if you read the sidebar on the left, that if you include victimizations which involved both a male and female staff member, it still only climbs to 14% for male involvement in abuse of children in these settings. You can also get a good deal of information from Table 11, which is also shown on the right of the photograph. I will link to the original source in the low bar. Feel free to pick apart my interpretation of these numbers. I didn't make any of this up. This is just what they found. But there is another issue that this brings up. A good number of sexual predators have one common characteristic. They themselves had been victims of sexual misconduct, as described in this study, themselves when they were younger. If anyone had any intention of reducing sexually related crimes, they would have to address the whole picture, which would include victimization of young boys and girls. And the uncomfortable truth is that the sexual victimization of young boys and girls seems to occur more often at the hands of women than at men. That's, how do you explain that to somebody that believes in a patriarchy? It was kind of funny, given the sign this character was wheeling around with, rethink sexual roles or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but that actually had me believing that perhaps this person might have understood some of what we were hoping to address. I was sadly mistaken. Well, I'm going to also add up a little clip of just I don't want to hear your fact. Feel free to steal that clip and use it as you want. He's not quite a big red, but the Femmies are starting to learn and trying to keep their anger and violence in check when we're around and documenting things. That works out well for us. Hopefully it'll keep a few of us safer. But don't take anything for granted when dealing with these people. You challenge beliefs that they hold so closely, you can show them evidence to the contrary, and they will just cling on tighter to what they believe. The response to that can, at times, as we've seen in the past, be violent or threatening. With that said, we will continue to document everything we see. and we'll keep pushing factual information in the faces of these ideologues. And we'll have fun doing it. That's it for now.